Let's solve this block. In this block, we have two variables, numbers and strings. Numbers contain number values and strings contain string values. Find the index of. So we'll say numbers.indexOf and we'll pass 101. Find the last index of 9. Numbers.lastIndexOf 9. Convert the value of a string of array into sentence like this. To convert strings into sentence, we'll have to use string method join with space. Add two new words to string called and sentence. So strings.push, if we use this, we'll have to do it 2 times. Other way to add method would be using splice. We can do strings.splice. So here it doesn't say where do you have to add it. So if you want to add it in the start, you can say start from 0, don't delete anything and add called and sentence. But if it says in the end, you have to change the index. So you can do it whatever way you want. Convert the updated array into string into sentence like this. So we'll do the same thing. Remove the first word of the array. So we can say unshift. So it will delete 1 and shift everything else to one lower index. Find all the words that contains is, use string method includes. So to do that, we can use filter. We'll say strings dot filter will give us one string and we'll check string dot include, and here we'll just pass is. So whenever it will be true, it will return a new array. We can store it into a variable all is. If you want to look at the value, you can say all is, and it is this and is contains that. Find all the words that contain is and using method indexOf. So here we'll do the same thing. We'll name the variable all is again, and here instead of using includes, we'll say indexOf is not equal to -1. So indexOf returns -1 if it doesn't find that character in the word. Check if all the number in the array are divisible by 3. Use array method every. So we have to say numbers.every. So every method will check the condition for each of them. So we'll say we'll get access to number and we'll say number modulus 3 is equal to 0. Sort the array from shortest to largest. So one thing about sort we need to understand is we have numbers. So numbers are like this. When you say numbers.sort, it will sort the value, but in JavaScript, sort method behaves in a way called string sorting. And what is string sorting is, first it will be 1, the next it will be 1 0 1, then 1 1, then 1 2. It means that in string it is like A B, AC, then it comes BA and BC, something like that. So that is how it normally naturally works. But if we want to do on the basis of actual value of these numbers, we will have to pass a compare function. This compare function gets access to two values, a and b, and we just need to compare them and say a minus b. So in this case, we will see it in ascending order, but when you say b minus a, it will be in descending order. Remove the last word in the string. So we'll say strings dot pop. Find the largest number in the array. If you sort the number like this, it will always have the last value to be the largest number, and we can just say pop. It will return the last value. We'll store it in a variable largest, and in that way we'll also be able to find largest number. Let's see. Here the largest number is 101. Find the longest string. So here what we need to do again is we will be able to sort strings, and we are not sorting it based on number, we are sorting it based on the length. So here we'll say length dot length. In that way we'll get the largest one at the last, and we'll say pop, we'll store it, we'll say longest string. We need to call this method, and here the longest is collection. Find all the even numbers. To find all the even number, we'll use filter, find all the odd number. Place a new word at the start of the array. We'll use unshift. Now move on to next one. Move a subset of 18, 9, 7, 11. So 18, 9, 7 and 11 are four values one after another. So we have to start from here and go to this point. Let's try to look at the value of numbers. And here we can see the value of numbers has been changed, means mutated, because it is array kind of data structure. And here you can also see the value has been changed, like 101 is not there and a lot of other stuff here. The reason these things are happening is because there are some method that mutates the array, and those methods are sort, pop, and a lot of other stuff. So here you can see sort will mutate the original one. So the way you should be using sort is to create a new array, and using spread you create a copy of the array. In that way it will not mutate the original one. So I'll create a new array, spread it, and now if we refresh it and look at the value of numbers, you will see it has not mutated at all. All the value is in the same way. So now to take out the subset of this, we'll just say numbers dot splice. We have to start from 18 and go till 11. So 3 to 6. If we want to log the value, we can just say it. Refresh it here, 18, 9, 7, and it's be 7. Now it will work. Make a subset of string A and collection. So here we can see A and collection. The same thing will happen with strings also, because we have used pop, unshift and other stuff. So adding some elements here, it is mutating. Then here also we are mutating because we are using sort. So better way to go about it would be to again create a new array and spread all the elements. Now refresh it, look at strings, and here we can see it is back to the same thing, just that the new word is added. You can take care of that later on, but you know that what you have to do now. Don't mutate the array. Whenever you know that some method that mutates the array, it's better to use it like this. Create a new copy of array. So here I can say strings dot slice, and it starts from 3 and 4. So we'll say 3, 4 and 5. Slice doesn't mutate the array, so you can just use it, no problem. Replace 12 and 18 with 1221 and 1881. So we'll see in two ways to do that. So here if we have to remove 12, we'll find the index of 12 first, and then using splice we can delete this and replace it with 1221. We'll say numbers dot splice also mutates the array, so you have to be careful about it. So splice, I have to get an index. How can I get an index? So for that I'll say numbers dot index of 12, and from here you have to delete one element and you have to replace it with 1221. So after doing this, if we refresh and look at the value of numbers, you'll see it will be replaced with 1221. You can do the same thing with 18, but a better approach would be, what I need is the input array is of size 12. The output will also be of the same size. So whenever you have of the same size, you should be using map. So I'll say numbers dot map, and I'll get one number from here. And what I need to do, we have to check. So if num is equal to 12, we have to return 1221. Similarly, else if num is equal to 18, return 1881. Last else condition would be return number. Whatever it is, just return that. And it will return a new array, so there is no problem of mutation. So we can just go ahead and say console.log, refresh it, and here we can see 1221. The size is 12 itself, because map always returns same size of array. So this is the better approach of solving this kind of problem. Replace words in string array with the length of it. So again here, think about it. What is the length of strings? So right now strings length is 8. Once we convert this into length of word, it will contain the same length. So we will use the same method, that is map. So strings dot map, I'll get one string. I need to return string dot length. If you want to log this value, you can just say console.log. Refresh, and here you can see the length. So whenever you need the output to be same as input's length, always use math. Find the sum of the length of word using above question. So what we can do is, instead of logging the value, we can store it somewhere. So here we can say let strings length is equal to this, and now we have to put the sum. So using sum, there are multiple ways to go about it. Again, you can use reduce method, or you can just use for each. But let's go ahead and use reduce. So we'll say strings length dot reduce. Reduce accepts two parameters. First is a callback function, and second is the initial value. Whenever you're finding sum, it will always start from 0. And here, this callback function will get access to two values, accumulator and current value. Actually, it get access to four things: accumulator, current value, index, and array. But I don't need index and array, so I'm just going to go ahead and access accumulator and current value. The first thing I normally do is I return the accumulator so that I don't forget to, because the next value of accumulator depends on whatever you return from the function. So a lot of time we forget to return that value. And here we just need to say accumulator should be equal to accumulator plus current value. And in that way it will be able to sum the value. If you want to check it, and here the sum is 39. We have a customer array and we have to do all these things for this. Find all customer whose first name starts with J. So we'll say customers dot filter. Output is going to be either the same size, all of the people has a name starting with J, or at least one will not have it, or two or three. So what does it mean is the output array will be smaller or the same size of the input array. So in that case, we always use filter. So we'll have customer and we'll return true or false based on customer dot first name dot, it's a string. So we'll say starts with, it is capital J. And if that is true, it will return me that. So let's go ahead and look at filtered customer, and the length of that is 3. Create a new array only with the first name. So we'll use map here, because output is going to be of the same size of input because all of them has first name. So we'll just say first name customer equal to, and here we'll use map, and we just need to return first name. Create a new array with all the full names. So we have first name and last name, so we'll do the same thing, and here instead of returning first name only, we'll return full name. And to get the full name, we can use, so this is first name and put the last name. Sort the array, so we can just sort it by using sort, and sort by default sorts the whole array alphabetically. Again, you need to think like it is going to mutate the original one. So better way to go about it would be to create a clone of the array and do it like this. Create a new array that contains only user that has at least one vowel in first name. So this time the customer size is going to be smaller. So we will be using filter here. So here you can see the value can be A, E, I, O, or it can be U. We'll remove the last one. And here if that is the case, so if this is the case, we have to return true, and otherwise we have to return false. So we'll say else return false, and we'll refresh this and look at vowel, and here we can see that all of these contain at least one vowel. What if I go ahead and add just to test it, and here we'll just say vowel has only 4, the PSDF is not there because it doesn't contain any vowel. So in this way we have completed this exercise.